First thing I want to talk about is the overall scores for the science benchmark for fifth grade. The average for the whole grade level was 58%, and that was the approach level last year, so that means we're looking good on that part. So that was really nice to see. I did go back yesterday and do a little bit more data, and I pulled the taught items, and I pulled out those students that their taught score increased from the overall benchmark, and that was 56 students out of 80. That's 70%.
Ooh, yeah, give yourself a hand.
So out of those 56 that I pulled, on the regular total benchmark, they averaged 61%. After I pulled them out, and for the taught, it jumped up to 67%. So we had 6 basis points rise. Now, that does not include, I believe, either 5 or 6 students that were still in the 60s or 70s, but their score dropped maybe a point or 2, so they're not even in that equation.
Wow.
So science is looking strong, and we still have April,
Yes.
rest of March and April to get taught what they don't have taught. So I wanted to share that with y'all as
That's
well.
awesome.
So I thought that was good, so we'll just kind of move on from there. So the average on the questions on the whole benchmark was 21 out of 36. So that's not bad. That's at 58% approach.
Well, and then I pulled out, like, the real close ones. There were 20 kids with 1 to 4 questions across fifth grade that were close, so we were really.
I didn't get a chance to get into that deep yesterday, but I did pull up the top. I saw the gains
There was
that we had.
20 that were either at 56, 54, or 50.
Yeah.
And 11 of them were 1 question.
Yeah. So that's encouraging. The focus SE that I pulled out was 578. And looking at that, I did talk with Mr. Stockwell after the test, and that was an SE that had not been taught, but that's okay. That's the one we're going to talk about. And that way we're going to get some ideas of how can we teach that or introduce that to the kids so they understand, okay? So what I did is I pulled and I looked at the students that did know it, and question 14 and question 28 were the 2 questions that were 5-7A, and we had right at 17% of the kids get it correct on question 14, and we had roughly 40% of the kids get question 28 correct. So 40% of something not being taught is a pretty good sign. So what I'd like for us to do is, let's look at that SE 5-7A. If you'll notice behind your data that I gave you, I've typed out the SE. There was also an embedded SE 5-3A, that has to do with investigations, with information gathering. So there was that was tied into one of the questions, so I put that there. Well, what I'd like you to do is take about 30 seconds, 45 seconds to write down, just looking at 5-7A, what are the key ingredients those students need to have to be able to master this 5-7A. Although it has not been taught, it is coming up, so it gives us a great opportunity to try and figure out ways we can teach this the best way we can to make sure that it sticks with them when it's taught that first time. So take about 30 seconds to look at that, and then we'll come back and I'll call on some individuals to share their ideas.